This is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 121, The Beastmaster.
Superman.
Hello and welcome to the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 121, where we finally shine a spotlight on the 1982 Sword and Sorcery classic, The Beastmaster. But before that, I am your host, Brett Summers, and I am joined by...
Paul Hawkins.
Ian Hicks. Sorry.
Jumped the hand.
Wow.
You were
so
looking.
keen to
You were
dive
just.
into
You were
it.
so.
It's
You were like
Beastmaster.
intently staring at me.
He's very excited. He's jumping in.
It's been 10 months since we announced
Yeah.
Beastmaster as our.
Everyone's been waiting. The emails have been clamouring. The social medias have been blowing up. Thank you, Brazil. And loads of other people as well. But yeah, tonight we finally shine the spotlight on Beastmaster. But before we turn on that bright light of awesomeness, what have we been up to, guys? Paul, what's been happening?
Work, birthday party round Mr. Hicks's on Saturday, which was good fun.
I
Enjoyed it.
That was springs on this.
Because that sounded like a soundtrack to my life. Yeah, no, so that was good. Sunday was a bit of a quiet affair around the Hawkins household, following the party around the Hicks's household on Saturday. Then work. Looking forward to my holidays in 4 weeks.
Woohoo! Damien?
Holiday. Same as really. Work. Getting prepped for Chloe's birthday, so lots of dinosaur stuff kept arriving throughout the week to make it Dave's Dino Park. And then yeah, Sunday was a quiet day, Chloe playing with all her toys and me trying to put things together, get the stickers in the right
Like
place,
your
and
mind.
usual stuff. Yeah. Bit of a sore throat from too much karaoke.
Never a bad.
No, it was good fun.
Well, I missed out on the party. I was at a wrestling tournament, unfortunately. Well, it was good to be there, but unfortunately I missed the party. So, but that was fun as well. Lots of people. Yeah, people coming up from like Swanage and down from Peterborough. That's a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been up north before, though, for those kind of events.
Yeah, but it was just.
It's only fair that
but
someone
this
comes
is
down.
like because we're the only ones that do it in like the southern area, and it obviously, I guess, word is spreading.
Word is spreading.
Yeah, so it's a good thing.
Did you wear a Cult Faction t-shirt?
No,
You should have done.
I have to wear a black t-shirt and black t because it was an official.
Oh, I see.
He'd be getting us to sponsor an event, won't he?
Yeah.
That's crossed my mind. I was thinking there was a thing the other day about a football team needed a sponsor. And yeah, so doing that. And last night, in fact, hot off the press, I was at the Mayflower Theatre in Southampton, which you can follow on Instagram at Mayflower.
You don't need to give him a shout. Jeez.
Well, you know, we never know, do we? We never know. And I watched the live performance investigation, whatever you want to call it, of Uncanny. Based on the podcast and the TV show and the book and the action figures and whatever else they got on t-shirts. But yeah, very, very
Bloody hell,
good.
Ken.
Yeah, very, 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 very creepy, but so well produced.
So what is the premise? Because I know they have done a few live episodes, but is it the same as the live episodes?
It's pretty much like you're watching the telly and it's on. So it kind of comes out. They've got like a stage set where they've got these cool weird trees that look a bit very Lynchian.
Yeah.
Do you remember in the Twin Peaks of Return where the little dwarf man was turned into a tree and it looked like a creepy
I don't,
tree?
but I can imagine.
Yeah, like that. And it's got like uncanny in those sort of letters that if
Yeah.
you close your eyes you can still see them. And And the idea is it starts off like you're in this shed. That's where it started, and then bits move around. It becomes what they're looking at and that. And then they bring out the experts, whatever you want to call it. And we had because it changes as the tour goes on. But the ones on this one were, because I'm still learning all the names, because the word uncanny is still new to me. I was introduced to it by the TV show, but Kate, my lovely lady, likes the podcast, as do you. You're a podcast long before it was ever anything. Yeah, you've been down since day one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Evelyn Hollow, who was the team believer. She's like the parapsychologist. And we had Kieran O'Keefe as the team skeptic guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were really good. And
he's not condescending or anything. He's just very matter of fact.
So you had them sort of sat on one side, Danny jumping about in the middle, and then they would sort of cut to live videos of like people talking of like the cases that they were looking at. They sort of did 2 cases and a bit where they talked about some Southampton stuff, because they did put out, I missed that, but they put out some things, share your ghost stories and all that.
All right.
And you could also text in through the QR code any experiences you had, and they picked some out and called you out, and you had to set on the mic and all that. And so one of them was a really scary poltergeist in our shop, and the second one was black. What was the second?
I don't know if you were there. I wish it was there, but
so they got blank now. But yeah, they went through both, thinking it was good, and then they would show the video and the person giving their account of what happened, and then it would go to each one to try and prove or debunk whatever, and he sort of mediates in the middle and like that. But being Southampton, there's a bit where we can ask questions as well. And the very first guy that they pick on with the very first question is like, is this actually an ongoing investigation? You guys just working for a script and you just do the same thing every night? And then he pointed out that the case notes are the same, but it's ongoing. Even like this flat they were looking at, I remember the second one. The flat they were looking at, they've now managed to get in touch with people that have lived there since, the people in that, and there have been things. He said, only this week, so that's hot off the press, so we've got to follow that up. He said, all of these are ongoing. He said, by the end of the tour, there might be even more bits added to it, because it's ongoing, and what you guys say about ideas of it might influence how we do it. He said, it's just, we present the facts, we go for it, and that shuts him up a bit. But everyone else is really filling in. But no, it was just like, yeah, we all get it. It's a tour. Don't shit on the concept, right? You don't go, you played this last night, do you, to like, Shania Twain, who's so caught at the moment. So then, the second case was a ghost haunting of like a family who lived next door to another family, and the parents were going away somewhere, and they said, "Oh, does your daughter want to come with us?" And like for the day or whatever, and they said, "No, she couldn't go that day." And then the mum and dad got killed in a car accident, like the car all caught fire, and the 2 kids were badly burned or whatever. But they never told the daughter, who was about 4 or 5 at the time, what happened. She saw the mum in her bedroom screaming at her, "Where are my girls? Where are my girls?" And like, what's going on? But she didn't know, they didn't tell her for ages that they'd even died. So she didn't know. She just thought, why is she coming to my room? And it was all, that all gets unpicked. And then later on, she finds out some other things. Because she didn't even find out they were dead for like a decade later or something. They just moved away because of all the things that were going on. Yeah, no, it's really good. So I'm hoping they either end up doing them on the TV show at some point with other stuff, or maybe if they bring out a live tour DVD, you might get extra bits on the end of it type thing. They're both really interesting cases, and both of them had a lot to go with. And the Southampton ones they picked up on, they talked about, this is the cool bit, they talked about Most Haunted apparently had done an episode from the Mayflower Theatre in Southampton.
Okay.
And they watched that and they were like, okay, just making notes. And apparently on Most Haunted there's a bit about like a man that walks around the seats in the bar upstairs and smashes glasses and things. And there was another
That's
man.
just you, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. So that's most of the clientele. And there's another one about an old man who sits backstage, scenes on a wicker chair backstage and all that. It says they went round and said, we were just talking to the staff here. He said, and I said about the man in the wicker chair that sits backstage. He said, no one seems to know about that one. He said, then I found this old guy that like works like behind the scenes here or something. And he was like, man in the chair. He goes, oh, that's what Most Haunted did. He goes, yeah, they just made all that crap up. He said, none of that was true. They just made the shit up so if they needed to put more in the programme. He said, none of that's true. He said, it's a load of shit. Apparently, he was quoting because that's his research, you know. That bit was a load of shit, and they made it up for the TV show. But the other one, they did. And apparently, loads of people have seen like a woman in like an old clothes, like walking past and stuff, in the middle, like the circle at the back. They see her glide past, and one of the women who worked there, her husband was waiting for her one day, sat on the stage to pick her up. And he freaked out because he saw her and he didn't believe in anything like that and all that. So that was quite cool. And they talked about the soaking girl on the Itchy Bridge.
Oh, yeah.
And all that, and the police, that one, or the police took her home and then she died and all that. And he was quite taken up by that one. They were writing that down. Said, yeah, another episode. But that's what they're doing. They're going to take the best ones and then look them up, aren't they? Why not? And but yeah, no, it was really, really good. I'd go and see that again, even if it was the same ones, just to see how it, you know, different places, different questions. Because people ask, and you get to put your theories across as well about what you think it was, and then they follow those up as well. So it can go in. They've got a
Yeah, so I don't remember if they
but
did that on the TV show or not, but on the podcast, the last episode of each series is a roundup of anyone that's come and sent emails in on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah, so you know, there's a skeleton there, and then it can go in like its own direction and stuff. And he did say last night it had been confirmed that there's going to be a second series.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I hadn't seen that anywhere else. I looked online today and I couldn't see it anywhere else. But so that could be hot off the press. But it has been confirmed for a second series, and he was quite excited. Now I didn't realise as well that he wrote the ghost story play, the 22. I can't remember what the time is. Yeah, so yeah, it was a really good night, and we very much enjoyed it.
So have you come away team believer or team skeptic?
Well, I'm still in the middle somewhere because I believe a lot of it, and there's other things. But what was really cool is when they were talking about the one in the flat, I was trying to remember the name of it when like someone's living in your house and you don't know, and it's frogging.
Oh yeah, Parasite.
Yeah, like the film, and Parasite, and there's a film called that as well with what's it? It's on Netflix somewhere, and a big twist in it. But yeah, and I was like, I wonder if it's frogging, and I went to sort of do it, but I didn't want to put my hand out. Everyone was trying to, and you know, like, if I want to be that good. There's a 10-year-old kid there. He goes, Kate was like, should we bring a 10-year-old kid? I said, I would have come. I said, I turned out right.
Yeah, same here.
And but yeah, and so he suggested that himself. He said people have said about it being frogging as well. He explained that and stuff. But that was really good. But what was really cool as well is like every time there was like a change of like the video clip finish or something like that, you've got like the sort of the lightning bolt, and then all the lights would go down and flash, or a face would come up, and stuff, just to sort of jump scare you awake in case you were but yeah, really, really good. And apparently there's an uncanny con as well.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know. There was one last year, and it's going to be announced.
Oh no, I do. Yeah, it was somewhere in London.
It's like a hotel in London. Yeah. It's like a long way away, but it looks really cool. So I was looking at that today. But yeah, I would say, yeah, I'm team in the middle. I think there are certain bits you're like, and there are other bits where you're like, yeah, or if it can't be explained, you know. But there are some bits and some things. Well, what was even really cooler, and one of my favourite, he does a little talk at the beginning about how he got into it all. And he talks about having, I forget the publisher now, he said the White Hardback Ghost book. Do you
Yeah.
remember one I got you?
Yeah.
And
So
they show-
that's what got me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he shows a clip of that, like a picture of that on the board, and like you hear loads of people going, "Oh yeah." It's like, yeah, that book screwed up a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it was really good. Highly recommended if it's coming to your town, or give it a listen, or give it a watch. So yeah, I talked a lot on that. It was very good and worth the money.
Cool. That's it. That's me done. I can
Cool.
go home now. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening and watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
We should call it Uncanny.
Yeah.
But I've got more hits. But what have we been watching? I've been at the theatre. You've been at home in front of the telly, Paul. What have you been watching?
Well, I might not have been.
You were.
No, I was yet. So obviously we've been watching The Acolyte. I don't know how up to date you are, whether you watched last week's episode.
Yeah, I watched it. I can't remember it at the moment, but she just talking about it. I'll remember.
Did that seemed more the filler?
Do we need the bell?
No, it's been a week now.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
not much happened. They realised.
He had a bath.
They realised the twins have
Is it?
swapped.
That's it.
He had a bath. There's like 10 minutes of him having a bath.
Yeah, and that's convinced her to go to the dark side, maybe. And the other one might be going to the light side. But, ferret boy, whatever he is, sniffed out the bad twin, and he knows she's the bad twin. Not sure what's going on with that Jedi Master, wherever he's a bit on the fence when it comes to the light side, dark side, but he's off on his own travels now. And you had that female Jedi with the whip lightsaber.
Oh, the bold one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's right, but it was one of those. This is you just had the big axe. Now this is like the one.
It's the filler.
It's the sort of where it brings it back down before it pushes it back up again.
Yeah, I'm always put off by. Well, I don't know. Am I put off? They've made the bad Sith, or whatever he is, almost likeable now. That's the problem, But maybe they were in those days. I mean, let's face it. He's saying his problem with the Jedi is they want to wipe him out of existence because he doesn't want to be a Jedi and live by their rules. Which you kind of think, fair enough.
Yeah, it's definitely giving it a more. We talked about this before. It's giving a more wider berth to the political and. Yeah, I guess the political and like societal structure.
Yeah, but the problem is I was enjoying it last time when he was slaughtering all the Jedi.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I want
There'll
them,
be more so.
I just want them to be evil, Brett.
Now we've got the whole mystery was like who he was, and now it's like who's his boss.
I know, but now it's going almost teen drama where she's going to fall in love with him, and
Nah,
yeah, feels like it.
She's gonna kill him.
Yeah, so I had that.
Sith slay the masters.
I don't know whether you just want me to continue or whether you want to.
Continue on the Acolyte. I'd rather you didn't.
Yeah, so that's the Acolyte over to Damien.
Yeah.
Well, I've been mostly prepping for Chloe's birthday.
We've got the dinosaur films.
We've watched the dinosaur films, yeah. Have managed to do another couple of episodes of Outer Reach,
Limits.
No,
We did this before.
yeah, Outer Range, Outer Range. With people in. It's good. I'm the guy's name now. Josh.
Hartnett.
No,
Whittaker.
no.
Ackland.
Bennett.
Jesus. Brolin.
Giant.
Frodo.
Right, yeah. Anyway, it's good. It's all twisty-turny. 2 more episodes to go.
What's it on? Is it Prime?
It's on Prime.
Yeah.
Um,
Obviously, doesn't come up on Prime
no, you got to look
because
at
of
these
their
things.
user interface,
Yeah,
which we
user interface
slagged
is
off
shocking
before, but
shit.
it's really pissing me off.
Yeah. It's even harder now to find that can continue watching stuff.
Anything. To find anything.
It's bumped down for like, buy this film, like already
Yeah.
subscribed. What's on there that I can watch?
Yeah, exactly.
You've got a million films on there that I probably do want to watch, but they're all like down somewhere.
Hidden.
Anyway, so there's that. That's the only thing I've watched this week. Sorry.
Anything else for you, Brett, before I carry on?
I've kept up on The Boys,
I haven't actually started watching last
and
week's, Brett.
No,
again,
wait for it all to finish.
big twist this week that I called as soon as it happened. But
Well, if it
I'm
Anyone
not saying.
can
I'm
call
not saying what it is.
No, if anyone could call it as soon as it happens. You mean?
No, I mean I call it when you'll get what I mean when
He called it
when
before
it happened.
it started.
Yeah, last year.
Pretty much. And
You mean Homelander's bad?
no, he's not. But this week it's not for the faint-hearted, shall we say? And if you watch the Generation V, it crosses back over that again. And Tech Knight is in this episode, who is basically the boys' version of Batman.
Oh, okay.
He's a millionaire who's got no powers, no technology, but but has he's got a bit of a problem that he can't really keep under control. Is that anything that's some sort of orifice or hole, he really wants to put his in it. There's a bit in Generation V where he walks past a tree and there's like a little sort of incline. He's like, And then it cuts back later on. He's against the tree. Yeah.
Wouldn't that just really hurt?
I don't know. Maybe he's got like special tech things like Batman does. He's got like tech.
I don't think Batman's got one of those.
Yeah, you never know. But it gets very, very, very S&M orientated. Well, because there's a hero called Webweaver who's basically their Spider-Man. But
I could work that one out.
he shoots webs out of his ass. He's got a whole little pucker hole above his ass. You can see where this might be going. And they kidnap him and take him out, and Huey wears his suit and goes undercover because he's up for being Tech Knight's apprentice, sidekick. And he doesn't realise what he needs to do to get that role though. He soon does, and it takes a very, very dark turn because he gets excited because he wants to go to the tech cave, but rather than the Bat Cave we all know and love, it's a bit like that room in
Red Room.
50 Shades of Grey. He gets a tech
I know what that's about, so.
Well, there's all sorts of seats and handcuffs and bondage stuff, and he's got like an Alfred the Butler type guy. He goes, "Oh, sir, it took me ages to get that scrubbed off of the thing, and and that scrotum juice was all over the sea. It took me 2 hours to clean it off. It's as shiny as new now." I go, "You're the best butler I've ever had," and all this. It's very dark. If that's the first episode you ever watch, it's on pretty much on a par of taste level with Coke Venus, but not as more straightforward than that set piece. But politically, it's still very good, and the way they do a few things is very, very clever, but it is really, really, really disturbing. So I'll watch it next week. There's only a couple. I think there's only one more episode this season left now. Then there's the next season's the final season. So yeah, that was cool. Anyone watch anything else?
Furiosa. And then X Saga.
You talked about that last week, didn't you?
Don't think so.
I might have talked about it on Saturday with you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just come out to buy online. So yeah, I thought I'd give it a go. Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth, and Tom Burke's in it. Off the show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's in it. Played Praetorian Jack. Yeah, I don't know whether I liked it just because he was in it and it was a bit cool, but it's one of those things. It's an alright film. It's a good film. It's George Miller doing what George Miller does. It looks like Mad Max did. It's all good.
Does it add to the Mad Max world? It looks like they're trying to build out the Mad Max world.
I think this is my problem. Anya Taylor-Joy's alright in it. Chris Hemsworth is quite good. He does what he normally does, though, and there's always a bit of comedy to his roles. But yeah, he's got a fake plastic nose on him for some reason, obviously to try and make him look a bit ugly. I don't know. but he's obviously Chris Hemsworth, so I don't think that would put any woman off. Well, yeah, but I think it shows off his acting skills better than in playing Thor. It just comes down to the fact, why did they make it? Why did they do a prequel about Furiosa as opposed to going to the right? It just doesn't feel like it adds anything. Doesn't really feel like it expands the universe, because at the end of the day it was just Furiosa that was
Does it link
co-star of the
into
last
Mad Max at all, apart from the fact it's just the woman who's in the other film?
Well, there's a hint of it, but then it leads directly into Mad Max film, because at the end of it she's rescuing the women from the evil guy. So it's her starting off as a kid, growing up, going off on all these adventures, going to different parties, trying to escape, and then coming back, and then full circle leads directly into Mad Max Fury Road. But that's my point. It's like, what are they trying to do? Like a Rogue One type thing where it directly feeds into Star Wars? But that was because people wanted a Star Wars film and were desperate, crying out for it. And it was a great script. Let's face it.
Yeah,
actually watched that as well. But it just seems a bit of a shame that they I would have liked them to have started off at the end of Fury Road as opposed to doing a prequel. But it's a good film. If you haven't watched Fury Road, I'd watch this one first. So give it a watch.
Out of 10?
Well, it's annoying because it is a good film. I just think it's a waste of $150
It's a
million.
necessary film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably about 7 out of 10. But as I said, if you haven't watched Fury Road, give this a go. You're not going to lose out on anything. It's just, I wouldn't.
Is it just one long film, really?
Yeah, pretty much, because it feeds directly into Fury Road.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So it's just. Yeah.
But it didn't do particularly well at the box office, and I think we said it before. If you want Mad Max film, you kind of want to see Mad Max in it.
But from what I can understand of it, like, Mad Max has got more sanitized as it's gone along, hasn't it? Because like the first one is pretty messed up.
Yeah, but
like
but that's when it was done, proper Australian film.
But that was like, but I mean,
I think Mad Max 2 is probably my favourite.
Mad Max 2 is just a bit because it's just all pointless and nothing happens, which is what is good about it.
Yeah,
because it's like they were lying and everyone was lying, but the Mad Max one, I still remember. The running down the road, and then you see like the motorbikes, then I think the kids' shoes bounce off the road or whatever, and all that in that shit. And the mother-in-law was Lizzie Borsworth from Southwark H. And then when they get the goose, and it's like they set him on fire in the car, and then the handcuff and all that, which has been done by loads of people since. And the goose was always going to get it matched. She knew that more than most. But then 2 was kind of that. Then 3 just sort of went a bit weird.
Well, that's when it was properly Hollywoodized.
Yeah, and that's when it's kind of it's stuck in that era.
Well, no, I think Fury Road tried to come back a bit, and the direction on that was bloody good, and it was proper a serious film as opposed to Beyond Thunderdome, And even the visuals on this are really good. It's just, I think the storyline it was a pointless film, but it's a good watch of a pointless film. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah,
and I've been crying out for a new film for the last 3 months. So I was more than happy to pay like 16 quid or whatever it was.
No, fair enough. For me, I watched a film too.
Well done.
It was good.
Oh yeah, I remember this on Facebook. Yeah,
we found it on.
Oh yeah,
we found it on Netflix. It was called Baghead, and to be fair, it is a really, really cool idea.
Yeah, it's a great premise.
And it starts so well. They got the Irish guy who's not in Dairy Girls because I guess he's the next one in line. He's a bit cheaper. No, I don't know. But basically, old, well-weathered man runs a pub. It's never open, and he keeps in the basement. There's a strange lady with a bag on her head. She's like a supernatural entity, and you can go down and give this lady an item that belonged to someone you loved who's passed away, and she will turn into that person basically for 2 minutes, and you can talk to them before she goes all like evil and crazy again.
Just like Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, you've got to remember, Whoopi Goldberg is still getting Demi Moore in that film, not Patrick Swayze. They just put that in there to make it look better. Because she's being possessed by Patrick Swayze.
I have seen the film, bro.
Yeah, I know. And you cried.
Not a ghost. Those beaches.
But and it takes a turn and it goes off, and then it just kind of spirals a little bit, and don't know. It was it's
By about 40 minutes in, it's boring.
Well, it's that thing of how do we end this, and they have an ending, and it's a good ending, but they almost have to overly signpost it.
Yeah.
And it kind of takes there's a in speech marks twist at the end.
Is it worth me watching it? Because I wasn't sure after
No.
your comments. Oh, right, okay.
I'd say give it a look, see what you think. I would know.
He always wants to suck life out of people by making them watch shit.
And it is.
It's not shit. There's worse films you could watch.
Of course, there's worse films you could watch, but with such a good idea.
Yeah, but that's what makes it. You can appreciate the idea and where it could go.
Is it an English film?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the ambience at the beginning and the way it builds, you think that this is going to be good.
Yeah.
There's a relatively decent amount of jump scares and that sort of thing, but it almost kind of relies too heavily on that. It doesn't flesh out. It doesn't flesh out the characters enough. The weird guy that turns up at the start remains weird guy.
Yeah.
There's no.
And when the
need
friend
to
who
express.
goes and finds the bit where somebody's saying there's all stuff on the wall, that never really gets.
No.
Again, I said, well, I think this could be a really good mini-series or something like that on Netflix, if someone took it on and, like you say, fleshed out each bit, because it's there. I think it just kind of, I don't know, it wasn't rushed at the end. It wasn't one of those ones where, like, well, we need an ending, let's finish it. It just seemed to, like, I don't know, I'm hoping it's one of those ones where someone said it needs to be 80 minutes, it's too long, and they just chopped it, and it suffered because of that. Because there are cool bits in there that look like they're going to build, but it's very then thin, it gets thinned out a bit. It looks like, that sort of thing. It looks like it's been thinned out as it's gone along a bit. Now we don't need that, because like the friend suddenly just doesn't even matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Like but Bankhead, it's on Netflix. I'd say give it a watch and see what you think.
I'd say not.
If there's nothing else on, give it a watch. If you've got something better to watch.
Two differences of opinion.
Yeah, we're allowed.
Maybe I'll watch it and then have
It's
the
a solid 4 from me.
Huh?
Solid 4.
I'd probably go 5.
Oh, Jesus. Well, why would you get me to watch it if it's only a 4 or 5, 4.5 out of 10?
It's the idea of it. That's the... If I'm the
First
right
30 minutes, pretty good. 40 minutes. Excuse me. Really interesting.
And then just turn off.
Then it just tapers off.
Right.
Mm-hmm. What was the writer of that? Be like, this is brilliant. They've done it. They've got every time. Then by the end, we're like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
But you've heard what you said. Paul's going to try it, see what he thinks. See what you think. Bankhead on Netflix. Anything else, any?
The only other thing, we always talk about, we watch the series, but you stop until they've all been available to show.
Or you make sure they've got a series 2.
Yeah, I just realised, because season 3 just started on Disney, that I did exactly that with season 2 of The Bear, but completely forgot about going back.
Is that the cooking thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really good. So it's got Jeremy Allen White, who's off
Just a bloke that runs a restaurant, isn't it?
He plays...
Just a bloke that runs a restaurant.
Yeah, but it's really good. You remember that one where it's 2 hours non-stop?
Yeah,
English
yeah.
one. Yeah, so just think
Boiling
about it
Point.
like a series.
They did that with Boiling Point.
Yeah, but Boiling Point was very good.
Is that the one with Lenny Henry?
No, that's the chef.
I'm sure he did another one. No, it was a lady, wasn't it?
That's Lord of the Rings. We don't talk about that.
I think that's coming back.
Yeah, it is in August, I think. Yeah, but if cooking's your thing and if TV programs are your thing,
Then watch Saturday morning.
The Bear. That,
That's all it's bloody on.
Yeah.
Where are the cartoons?
on the cartoon channel.
There isn't a cartoon channel. They got rid of like half of them. Children's ITV's gone.
Oh yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
That's because
The
they're watching the
TV's
YouTube.
All the music channels are gone now.
Yeah.
What do you mean all the music channels are gone?
They're gone.
There's hundreds of them.
There's about 3 left now.
What?
No, there's
Kerrang!
quite a few on Virgin.
There's loads.
Kerrang's
There's about
gone.
3 or 4 different nows.
Yeah, they're all now channels now.
There's still music channels.
Yeah, but they all play the same music. They go, this week it's music for the movies. This week it's love songs. They're all the same videos.
Oh yeah, I'll give you that. That's because there's no call for it. Because
I don't want Carol Decker hosting
just
it again. It's always
stick
bloody
it on
on.
YouTube. The only time
Yeah.
you watch your music channel is at Christmas when you're doing your wrapped Christmas presents.
Yeah. But Kerrang's gone
That's
now.
Yeah.
All
Or,
the
or Christmas dinner's
hot
about to come on.
channels.
Yeah.
On goes the Christmas music.
Now Christmas or whatever
Yeah.
you want to call it.
But Kerrang has done over 20 years.
Yeah, but I say it's YouTube. What's the point? You just make your own playlist on YouTube and just fire away. So
Different ways of consuming product.
exactly. Gone are the days of the box where you get a phone and a number to get the music videos.
There's a box music channel.
It's there still.
I'm not sure how that works because you don't actually request it. I think it just shows the best of the box from the 90s.
But it has to be a smaller square in the middle with
Yeah.
all of it's on the edge.
What was the one that was practically on the box for like 2 years? I've been waiting. The Shadows, Erasmus, or whatever they were. That used to work.
Erasmus.
Yeah.
In the shadows.
Yeah. 2 years practically on the box
They
solidly.
They played Download or something like last year, I think. I didn't realise they were still a thing.
No, neither.
And
Anyway,
do you remember that channel where
there
it
we
was
go. We've turned into the nostalgia podcast.
Yeah. No, but it was like a channel where it was on for about 6 months. It was like some blonde girl, and it was like her music video over and over and over again. And they were trying to like pimp it out, I guess as a marketing thing, they just bought it and just played her video like on repeat. And it was like a mini sort of 20-minute documentary with the music video in. She never went anywhere. No one. Whatever.
Everyone would have been probably sick of it, wouldn't they?
Yeah, exactly. We used to laugh at it and go, "Oh, here it is again." But she ended up,
And they just watch it for 6 hours, probably knowing you.
she ended up marrying the producer because I had to Google it to see how I hadn't imagined it. But yeah, it was
Cool.
It was a strange time in the 90s. You could buy a channel and put stuff on if you had enough money.
Wait.
Now you do it for free on
Yeah,
YouTube.
YouTube. I bet you sat there thinking about that.
Yeah.
But right, I guess now it's time to turn on that spotlight.
I guess it is.
Okay then, so we turn our spotlight to Beastmaster, the 1982 sword and sorcery film that was directed by Don Cascarelli.
Well done.
And it starred Marc Singer, Tanya Roberts, John Amos, Rip Torn, and Rod Loomis, among the many people that appear in it. You may spot other people you recognise. It is one of those films where there's a few faces of people that may get a little bit more famous later.
I'd like to know if Rip Torn's nose got another job.
I think a lot of Rip Torn's bodyguards got another job now. I'm sure his liver did.
Right, yeah. Anyway, we'll come on to
Yeah.
Rip Torn and his nose later, no doubt.
It was very loosely based on the 1959 novel The Beastmaster by Andre Norton. And for lack of a better term, it's basically Dr. Dolittle meets Lord of the Rings. It took 14.1 million at the box office against a budget of 9 million. So if you count advertising and all that, it probably just about broke even, I would say. And
I mean, that can't be bad for, you say 1980,
1982.
1982.
And, you know, commercially, it wasn't considered a box office success during its original cinematic run. I think they wanted a new runaway franchise because, you know, Conan was out there and all the other, you know, Kroll was coming, Hawk the Slayer. All
They're
these
probably
concepts.
hoping for the action figures as well.
Yeah. And but it later received extensive television exposure in America because of American TV channels like TBS, TNT, and HBO, where apparently it was "Hey, Beastmaster's on." All for HBO.
Just continuously,
Well, the
like a
Beastmaster.
filler at midnight.
Yeah. The film has gone on to spawn 2 sequels. There is Beastmaster 2, Through the Portal of Time, which again stars Marc Singer, and also popping up is cult hero himself, Robert Zadar, Carrie Wurra, Sarah Douglas, Wings Hauser, and everyone's favourite uncle, James Avery. Then there was Beastmaster 3, The Eye of Braxus, which had Marc Singer again in the lead role. Who else was in that? No, Sandra Hess, Casper Van Diem, and that's not on here. I'm pretty sure. Tony Todd was in it as well.
Okay, I'll take your
the Candyman himself.
Yeah.
Yes, he was. He's over the page, in fact. And
for listeners, Brett is reading from
my copious
printed out notes. He's gone proper old school. In line with the Beastmaster. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then in
Did you fax it to yourself?
I sent it by mail. In 1999, there was a Beastmaster TV series, but that kind of changed a lot of the backstory and everything, with Daniel Goddard in the lead role. The main note that I took from looking over that is that there's a demon lady in it called Kurapira, who's played by Amelia de Raven, who would end up being Claire in Lost.
Oh, right, okay.
And then Roswell and
many other things since.
Once Upon a Time. Yeah, well, she's done really well. But that's probably she was probably the best thing to come out of the TV series. But anyway, back to the Beastmaster. It was, loosely based off a novel, and then there was another screenplay by Paul Pepperman and Don Coscarelli.
That wasn't as good. Your first pronunciation.
Yeah, well, I've done it now, haven't I? And they raised. They went to the 1982 Cannes Film Festival, pimping it out, and then the budget of $9 million was raised, and it was the highest budget Coscarelli had worked with up to that point in his career.
Thought ka-ching.
Yeah, there was frustration during the film though, because Coscarelli originally wanted Demi Moore in the role of Curie, but the executive producers overrode the choice, and he had to have Tanya Roberts.
I bet Demi Moore's furious.
I believe she was at the time.
And I'm sure she's got over it.
I think this is one of those "this is the girl" moments where he just that was a choice.
Yeah.
The role of Max was originally written for Klaus Kinski, but he wasn't cast. There were salary disputes, and it was shot over 5.5 months, mainly in California's Simi Valley and in the Los Padres National Forest. And the Valley of Fire State in Nevada. So, a lot of bits done all over the place there. So, first of all, then, memories of the Beastmaster, Paul.
I don't think I had any of this.
What?
I don't think I had any. I know I've seen it. Just don't have any memories of it.
God.
Soulless child.
Yeah. Amazing.
Damien.
No. I mean, I think, obviously not on TBS, TNT, or HBO, but I had a recorded VHS of this from, late night, the ITV and BBC Two. And like Kroll, it was one of those films so during the school holidays, we would be sent off to my nan's whilst parents were at work. There's not a lot to do when you're at your nan's. So, Kroll, Beastmaster, and Police Academy were pretty much watched every day. And I genuinely loved this film growing up. I think I was obviously bang into He-Man, and there wasn't a He-Man film at this point.
So you were banging to He-Man?
Bang into He-Man
right.
at this point.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. So
He-Man,
this was the closest
I
thing.
have the power.
This was the closest thing to a He-Man film you could get when you're 6 years old. Even, with the Panther, it's almost Gringer. So,
Took about a few more years to the real thing.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I loved it as a kid. So I was and that's why I chose it originally as my choice of film, which you then stole.
No, I was just
Bring us back to
people were worried about. They wanted the episode.
well, the
We
space time
promised
does
it.
continue.
We promised it all that time ago before we went on our hiatus. And now
Like
it's
you.
here.
Do you remember the film? Or
Yeah,
you-
it was one
you
of
remember it?
those. It was one of those intriguing boxes at the video store where I looked at it and thought, "This looks amazing."
You just saw Kira in the background.
And then then I was like,
Kira.
"Holy shit, that's
Right.
Mike Donovan from V." So it would have put it after, well, at least 1984, so maybe a couple of years after its release. And then I think it was one of those videos that sort of probably got hired about every other month. And then I think eventually I found it, like you say, I recorded it off a TV somewhere and had it on video. But I'm sure it was TVS then. But I'm sure there was a bit that got cut out. Because then I remember watching it years later. I think I got like the DVD or sort of or the video of it then, when you could buy videos. And I think I was like, I don't remember that bit. So there was something, maybe there's a saucy bit or something. I swear, but I can't think what it is now. But I remember there was like a bit later on that was like,
Or maybe the bathing scene was cut out.
yeah, or shortened.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gets in and gets out again, and that's it. And I don't know. Yeah, there's a memory of something like that. So if you are listening, you remember that. But then the different regions did different things with it. So for in the UK, different TV regions could edit and slice up what they liked. I mean, one of the more famous ones was the Eddie Murphy from Beverly Hills Cop, where the image that they used for the advert breaks was the bit where he flips the bird, only they edited the finger out, so it's just Eddie Murphy waving a fist. Or the Yippee-Ki-Yay Kimosabe from Die Hard 2, where he's clearly mouthing a much longer word that I've never worked out what it was. But so in the UK, sometimes films do get a bit sliced and diced depending on what region they're in.
And what time of day
What time of day there was, but so there was something on my Beastmaster copy that wasn't in it later on, but I got so used to watching that one because I'd recorded it, but and it was one of those you sort of came back to it, and V was like one of the best TV series ever made ever. So and it had Mike Donovan in it, so I was happy. All I needed was Michael Ironside to turn up, and I was done. But should we get it to the plot?
I guess so.
Okay. So once upon a time, in the kingdom of Arak, witches tell High Priest Max, a prophecy that he will die at the hands of King Zed's unborn son. Now, King Zed would go on to another successful career and turn up as Sigmund Freud and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. So, it was top class footwear.
Yeah.
And he was in an episode of Some Mothers Do Have Them.
Really?
Yeah, it was on the old day. I was like, Sigmund Freud! And I looked it up and it was him. So, that's what he's going to be remembered for. So Myax sends one of his witches to kidnap and kill the child, as you do. The witch magically transports the child from his mother's womb and into a bull. Later, she cuts the baby out of the bull and brands it with the mark of R. and is about to sacrifice him when a villager rescues a child and raises him as his own son in the village of Emer. The child is named Dar, and as you do in those sort of situations, you learn how to fight. And as he was a being brought into the world by an animal through magic, he develops the ability to telepathically communicate with animals.
Could have been worse. Could have been attracted to red things.
Yeah. So, or witches. So, bit of a shitty upbringing, but, there's by the end of the
It
tunnel.
sounds like you had a pretty decent upbringing.
His stepdad
or
foster
adopted
dad.
father or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah,
Looks
but
after it.
traumatic beginning. There's like the end of the tunnel, even if it was a horse's ass or cow's ass that he then bull's ass that he gets dragged through. Was that Ace Ventura?
She cuts it out with him.
Yeah, but similar. And the Brothers Grimm. So years later, though, we get a little bit of a montage, and years later, a fully grown Dar witnesses his people being slaughtered by the Juns, a horde of fanatic barbarians who are allied with Mayaks.
Dirty Juns.
As in all fantasy films, Dar is the only survivor in his village from the attack, so he journeys to Arak to avenge his people. In time, Dar is joined by a golden eagle he names Sharak, a pair of thieving ferrets he names Kodo and Podo, and a black panther he names Rar.
Even though it's not a panther.
Yeah. It's clearly not a panther, it's a tiger that's been face painted black, and it runs off a lot as well.
Yeah.
I think they got a lot of complaints by panthers at the time.
Why can't you cast a real panther?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've done that nowadays.
Diversity and all that.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot to pick through in what you've just run through.
Just from that opening kind of setting the scene moment, what were our thoughts there?
Well,
how drunk is Rip Torn?
Yeah. Well, I've already mentioned it once. I don't get the need for his prosthetic nose.
There is.
I was thinking the same about Chris Hemsworth and Furiosa.
Yeah, that's
it's to hide his, enigmatic good looks and to make him look evil.
But it doesn't even like it gets chopped off or anything.
No.
So it's like,
There's this one scene, there's a scene at the very beginning in this bit where he's in the temple or whatever it is they're in, when the witches who are being gratuitously shot from behind and the camera pans up.
Pants people.
Yeah, and then it reveals they've got these terrible, almost William Shatner masks on. But there's a scene where they have a side profile of Rip Torn, and his nose is just...
And it blacks out the sun.
Yeah,
it's just bizarre, because he doesn't have that. I don't understand it. It's weird.
It was one of his method things. It was like, I get this wrong, but this character must...
I must look like Gargamel from the Smurfs.
Give me a nose. That's not a nose. Yeah.
But then he gets randomly dragged away, and yet the witch... We don't see... So the witch kidnaps... Right, that's the only word for it. Kidnaps the unborn child. And then all of a sudden, Rip Torn's now in charge, but we don't see him overthrow the king.
He exiles the king.
You don't see that.
He has to go. You get it's by and you must go. It's like a kind of. It's not.
I must have missed that.
It's not.
Sure.
Yeah, it's not a big. Because it's almost like there's the door, off you go, and he's like.
Yeah, no, that's what happens to Mayax. You must go, and then he gets dragged away by.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking of. Sorry, yeah.
But then it cuts to the weird hag thing pushing a donkey cart. Or no, that's another thing. I mean, I don't care how heavy a sleeper you are. If someone walks into your bedroom dragging a bull, I think I mean, I sleep heavily. I mean, really heavy. But I'm pretty certain if a great big honking stinking cow walked into the bedroom, I'd wake up. But no, neither of those two stir, and the fluorescent liquid gets poured on them. She dies. He gets paralyzed. The next thing you know, he's the king.
Yeah, there are a few flaws in that.
Yeah.
If she'd have drugged them and knocked them out or something like that, but allegedly they were just sleeping.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, then what happens?
And then you get. I mean, I'm being so harsh because I love this film, but the whole. He's witnessed his father's been, or his adopted father's been killed. His whole village has been wiped out. There's no emotion in his face,
Yeah.
and then we get some random shots of him up on mountains and running through bush scrub.
Maybe a bit of Tarzan. Maybe
Yeah.
that's where they were trying to,
And then you get this really dramatic shot, like the camera's just above the water of the lake, the stream that he's running through, and he goes ah, and slices his sword around a couple of times. That's it. He's over it. Grief is. I mean, there was no grief to begin with, but any grief he might have had is just gone, and now he's off.
He's a rather private person who keeps it all in China or doing it like now. Don't question the range of Marc Singer.
I don't necessarily think it's Marc Singer's. But there's no kind of why have you forsaken me life?
It's a bit of a confused film, I think, because I started watching it and I was happily surprised it's a bit dark. I kind of like that because I thought, it's going to be a kids' film. It's not a kids' film, but then we've already talked about some of that bit. A bit weird, bit holes in the plot, shall we say? And then it's like he almost seems to regress, almost into like the Kid and Gentle Ben, start to talk to just random creatures. Oh, you pesky ferrets stealing my things! I shall call you Kodo and Hodo, and you shall be my friends. It's like, hold on. Now this seems like targeted at 4-year-olds.
Yeah.
It really did seem like a weird juxtaposition of, is it an adult? Is it for adults? Is it for kids? Or are they trying to do it for both? It's something for the dads where, spoiler alert, there's going to be some fit women later on. Or woman. But we need to remember kids might be watching this too. So let's throw in some ferrets and try and make him jokey. But where he's so wooden, it's like he just comes across like he's got education.
Singer is not wooden.
Well, his performance in this
He
is very much so. And it's like he always comes across the educational needs and he's regressed into almost a childlike state, which wouldn't be so bad if he was abandoned in the forest when he was like 3 and raised by chimpanzees like Tarzan and something like this. But he actually had an upbringing.
Yeah.
And was taught to fight.
Worked the
stuff like
fields
that.
and everything.
Yeah, so it just felt a bit odd.
Anyway,
let's move on. Sorry, bro.
That's okay.
shall we do the next bit?
Yeah, you can do that as well.
Dar meets a slave girl called Kiri.
Tanya Roberts.
Oh, yes, he does.
Before getting himself lost and ended up surrounded by an eerie, half-bird, half-human race who externally dissolve their prey for nourishment. As the birdmen worship eagles, they spare Dar when he summons Sharak and they give him an amulet. Dar soon arrives at Arak, where Mayax had assumed total control with the Jun's support. Mayax has taken the children of the townspeople and is sacrificing them to his god. After having Sharak save the child from of a townsman named Sako, Dar learns that Kiri is to be sacrificed. On his way to save her, Dar is joined by Zed's younger son Tao and his bodyguard Seth, and learns that Kiri is Zed's niece, as the three work to save her. While Seth gathers their forces, Dar helps Kiri and Tao infiltrate the temple and rescue King Zed.
Yeah. So again,
skip through a lot there, but
I quite like the half-man, half-bird creatures. Again, that was quite dark. That reminded me of almost Lost in the Forbidden Zone type creatures, and the fact that they just melt people, which is quite cool. And then they find
There
out,
was suffocation or melting in.
yeah. But
yeah,
then
it's really cool. Dark, like you say, it's it's scary as shit.
yeah, and I thought that's quite cool. But again, as a kid, that kind of harks back to, as I said, Forbidden Adventures of Forbidden Zone, whatever it was, and also like
Space Hunter.
the Dark Crystal, that kind of dark.
Yeah.
You know, it's still a bit scary, not too over the top. Yeah, so I didn't mind that. I also had the feeling that, yes, even though they're trying to make it almost a fantasy, they really struggled with names in this. You know.
It's like, let's just put some syllables together.
Yeah.
Or actually, let's not put any syllables together.
Yeah.
Let's just go with one syllable.
Yeah.
Da.
And obviously we find Kiri. You can see why they cast her. And we're also looking for Demi Moore. And again, yeah, he's nice.
Because she would have been fresh off of probably Charlie's Angels about that time, wouldn't she? Because she was...
Yeah, she's just finished the last series of Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, so that was, yeah.
Yeah, and she also did a Playboy cover to help.
That's right.
I read about that, yeah. It
Yeah.
didn't come out till afterwards, didn't it? And I think she may have been... Did she pop up in a Buck Rogers in one episode as well?
Awesome.
I think she was like some sort of space criminal who was going to kill him. But, you know, you know Buck.
Yeah, but again, you know, the relationship that he has with Kira is like, well, he's never seen a woman before. Kind of has he lived with them in a village?
Entire village, yeah.
He knows what women are.
Not that woman.
Well, that's true, actually, probably not. She did seem a lot cleaner than a lot of the village folk. Yeah, a bit weird. And then lots happen. It almost feels a bit like Ten Commandments type stuff with the sacrifices going on, you know, carrying on.
Yeah, it has got like a biblically...
Yeah, carrying on from the
cult vibe,
first
hasn't
chapter
it?
with
Yeah.
like Herod or whatever it was at the time, sacrificing kids to kids as well.
Happy Christmas.
Yeah, it just feels like a lot's happening, but it's not really knitted together well.
Yeah.
That's the way I found it.
I think it's just because there's just chaos going on everywhere.
Yeah, but it's not.
And Dar's just dawdling through in the middle.
It's not like it's controlled chaos for a watcher. It's just lots of split scenes and jumping around from one thing to another, as opposed to a nice flow of story, I would say.
Okay.
That's all I have to say on that.
Do you want to tell us the next?
Oh, I didn't know whether someone else wants to jump in. Anyway, okay, so moving on. An obstinate Zed leads his forces to attack the city, despite the prudent warnings of Dar, who leave the group in anger. They are all easily defeated and captured, Celtic Paris, and Dar decides to return to save them from being sacrificed. In the conflict that follows, Mayax reveals Dar's relationship to Zed before slitting Zed's throat and facing the Beastmaster. Despite being stabbed, Mayax is revived by a witch, and when he attempts to kill Dar, Kodo sacrifices himself to cause the high priest to fall into the sacrificial flames. The victory is short-lived as the Jun horde approaches Arak, arriving by nightfall to face the trap Dar and the people set for them. Tal is wounded as Dar succeeds in burning most of the Juns alive while defeating their chieftain before the Birdmen arrive to consume those remaining. The following day, Zeth invites Dar to be the new king, but Dar explains that Tal would make a better king, and he leaves Arak. Dar sets off into the wild with Kiri, Ra, Sharak, and Porpodo, who has given birth to 2 baby ferrets. Yeah, so that was news.
Yeah. It does go a bit mad at the end. And when the most, you get the build up, the reveal of what the tattoo scar thing on his arm meant. And,
Yeah.
And trying to look hard when you're next to John Amos. That's never going to happen. That man's a unit. He still looks scary now when he's probably about 80. Yeah, it just kind of... And what was revealed, were they brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. They were brothers.
Yeah, but he's the elder one, right?
He's the first, so he's the rightful heir, if you like.
Yeah. But as opposed to having a nice, lush life with his new would-be queen, Kiri, he thought, nah, fuck it.
It's not that.
I want to live in mud,
Yeah.
basically, in my loincloth.
But this is what's got me. So
Got my ferret factory.
Dar's the firstborn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rip Torn looks at least 20 years older than him, even with his big nose. And not Dar, it's a little kid, isn't it?
The kid's his brother.
Yeah, that's
Not Rip
sorry,
Torn.
it's been a while since I watched. No, but he killed the mum. So is Zeb Freud been?
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, he killed his mum, and he's supposed to have been in prison.
Yeah.
Or,
What is it?
yeah,
What has he been? That's why originally I was like, so is it he the brother? Because he's the only other person around. But no, it is the kid, and that's what confused me. That was one of my theories. Yeah, but where did he come from?
that's a very good point.
Because like, you could at least say he is or half brother.
Yeah.
You could think, oh, someone in that time he got lucky.
He got yeah,
You know,
in that
maybe
prison.
times. But yeah, but so it does fall a little bit apart here, and the biggest heart-wrenching moment is the death of a ferret.
Yeah.
It was a brave ferret. And you even see the girl ferret kind of go, and then she has babies, so it's okay.
It's all right.
That's always alright, having a fatherless child. That makes everyone happy again, because he died, but at least she's pregnant.
Yeah, but she's got the support group around her.
That's true.
Yeah, it's got a painted tiger.
He died because he literally died black and got poisoning and died.
There you go. Dark.
That's one of the reasons the writer hated the film so much. Apart from the fact it had nothing to do with the book.
And I like the callback to using the amulet to get the strange birdie people to come in and do it, and that was creepy as hell when they turned up to the neons.
That was cool.
Yeah,
I quite enjoyed that. I did kind of think, well, why didn't he do that earlier?
Okay, it was only if you call us, we will tell. And then once you've done it, but that was it. What I liked about that though is like that was the end of the favour. So
Yeah.
now that after this they could be enemies, but I don't think they show up in any of the other films. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, we just forget about that.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that was really much
That's a whistle-stop tour through.
the Beastmaster. We try not to spoil it, but we want to give you everything that happens. And
When did we ever say we're not going to spoil it? As we literally
we didn't ring the
walked through
bell.
it?
We didn't ring the bell, so I'm covering this legally. Apparently, the original camera negative of the film was lost. They stored it in someone's house, and then the house was sold, and now no one knows what happened to it. Tells you the sort of organisation.
Yeah.
The Coscarelli has gone to the public many times asking for help if anyone's like found any or whatever. Marc Singer, whilst loving the film, still says that he had to wear a leather hula skirt. And apparently on the first day on set, when him and John Amos were in full costume, they both burst out laughing at each other, which apparently upset some people because it was serious. They were just laughing at each other.
Oh, geez. If anyone on that crew thought that was a serious film, God help him, that must have been a tough 5 months.
Oh yeah, can you imagine? And after this one went out, Coscarelli sold off the rights to the story and the characters and had no more involvement in the sequels or TV series, so he gets no money from them at all. Which I think was a silly move, but then maybe they offered him a lot of money for it.
Yeah. Probably paid off his mortgage and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, here's the other note I made. What was it? Yeah, Dar is the long-lost son of Zed the King. After they rescue King Zed, who's now old and blind, Kiri calls him Uncle. So if Zed is Kiri's uncle and Dar is the long-lost son, that means Kiri is Dar's cousin. Whereas Zed mentions that his queen, Dar's birth mother, died at the hands of a witch who stole the baby. So we saw that. So then Tal has a different mum. So Kiri could be a blood relative of hers, making her Dar's cousin by marriage only. So that's alright for them to.
Oh, right, I see where you're going. Yeah.
Well, I was trying to work it all out. It turned into EastEnders. So we don't know. Yeah, so we don't know who fathered Tal. because the Queen would have been dead. Yeah, I was trying to wrap it up. And again, doesn't really get mentioned in any of the follow-ups. It's just basically Marc Singer on another adventure.
That's what I want to see, surely.
But well, there's 2 more to see.
Maybe one day.
I remember the second one being okay and the third one being a bit rubbish. But it's been a long. I think I've only ever seen them once. But I think the second one I might have just been excited because there was another Beastmaster film.
Yeah.
Or the third one, that was it.
Oh, well, there's another Beastmaster film.
Yeah. But okay, let's get our scores on board then. So start thinking, gentlemen. Out of 10, add it to the famed mythological
Which I've just managed to find.
league table of movies that will get its own page on the website at some point. And then we can just add to it and whatever.
Do some clever, easy stuff.
So, Paul.
I'm going to give it 3. So 1 point for Kiri. Well,
You can give it a point for having Tanya Roberts in it.
yeah,
Fair enough.
that's my point.
Boobs.
Yeah, I mean, that was the only rationale for having that. 1 for the dads. What was it? 1 for the ferrets, and 1 for the weird creatures that absorb people. I quite like that. But no, it's just a bit of a shame. Unfortunately, I didn't have the nostalgia potential value that you two might have had. So for me, it really did feel like a shame, actually, because I think they could have made something good out of it. I think there's actually quite a, we talked about it's that old biblical type story, yes, with a bit of sorcery and Kral type stuff thrown in there. But yeah, it's just a weird, hushed, ensemble of just different scenes that didn't really seem to stack up as one continuous story.
Okay. So that was a 3 out of Damien.
So I'm giving Rip Torn's nose a 2. Like Paul, he gets a 1 for Tanya Roberts. And then he gets another 2 for just the fact that it's Marc Singer. And
Yes.
he's a hero.
John Amos deserves a point.
He doesn't do a lot in it, does he? And he wears some really weird bondage type thing.
I actually wonder if that's the stuff he had left over from when he did Roots or something. He was in cuffed up a lot in that, wasn't he, as a kid skinty?
He's like, yeah, I'll do the part. I've even got my own stuff. Maybe. But yeah, so I guess a 5 from me. I think there is just too much.
Does it ruined it going back?
To some extent,
Because
yeah.
this was your pick initially.
Yeah, it has, going back and rewatching it, there's too much of Marc Singer just running around in mountains and
Yeah, it was a montage. We needed the montage.
Yeah.
We could have done that before the final battle, or where I must train and get ready.
Yeah. If he'd have been wandering and he found those animals, and then they did a montage with him learning how to speak or not have, learning to work with those animals, that would have been a better montage. I don't know, he's running through the forest and he gets attacked by a bear, and the panther saves him from the bear.
Gentle pad.
Yeah. So he gets a 5.
Okay.
Mr. Summers?
I'm going to go. I was going to go higher, but you've talked me down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go for a 6.
You were going to go higher than a 6?
I was going to go 7.
Oh.
Not by the time. You've talked me down a point. But I think when you compare it to what was coming out at the time, you had Red Sonja, you had the Conans, you had Hawk the Slayer, you had Kroll, and all the other ones that kind of went straight to video and that. I think it stands head and shoulders above what was coming out at the time. I'm not saying that that's bad, but compared, in the crop of that
Straight
sort of
to
early
straight to
80s,
box set.
early
Straight to-
80s, yeah, kind of fantasy that was getting churned out all over the place. I think it deserves a place at the top of that mountain. So I'll go 6, for the ferrets, John Amos, Miss Roberts, Riptol's Nose, Sigmund Freud, and Marc Singer, who was in V. So that's 5 points just to start with, just because he was in V. It doesn't matter what he was like in this, even though this was before V.
Yeah.
But he would go on the better things and get his full range of acting as Mike Donovan, but it was a good start. So yes, I would give it a 6, and you should check it out and enjoy it with the whole family.
Okay. So that puts it at number 40 in our...
Where did Kroll come?
I'll have a look in a sec.
Yeah.
So that puts it at number 40, so just below Hear No Evil, See No Evil on 5th. So this has got 14 points. So just above, below Hear No Evil, See No Evil on 15 points, and above Tron on 12 points. So it's not a bad place to be,
Yeah.
It's in good company.
I'm just surprised that See No Evil, Hear No Evil was so low down.
Yeah, I think with Hear No Evil, See No Evil, the funny bits are funny.
Yeah.
So we all remember the funny bits.
Yeah.
But
that was about time we sort of had enough of them.
Yeah.
From memory.
So
far, anyway.
to answer your question, Paul, Kroll sits at number 20 on 20.5
So
points.
Kroll got 20.5 and this got what?
14, did I say?
It's much better than Kroll.
It's not better than
according to us.
No. According to our scores, it's not. There's more going on in Kroll. There's a lot more to Kroll than just one man running
it's the
through
Thunder
the
Horses.
woods.
Although there is a lot of him doing walking.
That's true, there isn't. Yeah, that bit did remind me of Kroll.
Yeah. Cool.
There we go then.
Okay. So
That's
that
all.
was episode 121 where we put our spotlight on the Beastmaster. Were we right? Were we wrong? Is there something we missed? Something you wanted to know about? Email us, contact us, tell us by dropping us a line at
cutfictionpodcast@mail.com.
All faction.
Oh yeah,
You said
it's
fiction.
fiction.
Whatever. Cutfactionpodcast@mail.com.
121 episodes plus spin-offs.
At least I remember what episode we were.
You can check us out on the internet. Mothership is
Coldfaction.com.
where you'll find all sorts of news and stuff and old bits and pieces when it goes up, as well as obviously this wonderful podcast.
Yeah, and you don't forget to like and subscribe. You can also leave comments as well. So if there's a film that you want us to do a spotlight, either leave it there or email us.
Yeah, and also, please, if you can, these things help, especially now Apple seems to be the only place you can listen to like a podcast apart from Spotify or whatever. But even on those, like it, review it. You might have done it before, but review the episodes. It really does help. Review the actual main podcast bit as well.
Share it with your friends.
Yeah,
Makes a great Christmas present.
All these things help us sort of shift up the ratings a little bit so we don't just get stuck in the bit where no one knows we exist. We're like some really cool film on Amazon Prime. You just can't find it properly. But we will back next week where it is Damien's choice.
It's my choice.
What we're going for.
We are going for, so, I mean, for obvious reasons, watching the Beastmaster back has reminded me of a particular film that came 6 years later.
Beastmaster 3.
Not Beastmaster 3. Masters of the Universe.
Yes.
That's
The motion picture,
the motion picture.
not the Secret of the Sword cartoon. But
No.
okay. Dolph.
Good old Dolph. So it's available on Amazon for free if you subscribe, obviously. So you haven't got apart with any hard earned cash is there in all its to watch.
Cool.
Okay then.
I'm
So
not going to veto that.
if you're playing along next week, it is Master of the Universe, as Damien said, on Prime. Until then, time stops in our world now. Done. So we will say goodbye. So it's a goodbye for me, Brett Summers.
Goodbye for me.
And a goodbye from me, Damien Hicks.
And we will see you next time.
Superman.